May I have your attention, please?
We are controlling transmission. There is nothing wrong.
The Horror Chronicles.
Whether it's a ghost, spirit, or an entity, they all feed on it. That's the whispering, the footsteps, the feeling of another presence.
You won't have a chance to change your minds later, because there'll be no way to get out.
We have such sights to show you.
Have you checked the children?
Whatever you do, don't fall asleep.
Boogeyman's real.
That is better.
They're coming to get you.
What's up, horror fans?
You know what time it is.
Let's get into it.
I didn't get into it again. What's up, everybody? JT and Ryan here with the Horror Chronicles.
That's right. And tonight, we got a special guest for everybody.
Oh, very special.
We've been trying to get this record, or this going on for a while now.
Yeah.
Finally getting into it, something I want to talk about. And when I talked to our guest about it, last time he was on, he's like, oh, dude, I'm going to look into that.
Hell yeah.
You know, I'm kind of excited to get in that. So
this is going to amp up a bunch of my buddies, because I've had a bunch of my buddies asking me to get this guy back on the show again. With no further ado, we've got Mr. D.A. Roberts in the house with us. What's up,
guys?
D.A.?
What's going on, brother?
How's it going? People want me back on the show? Are they gluttons for punishment?
I don't know.
That's why they listen to our show.
No, it was funny. I went out last Saturday and saw my good buddies, and they play in this band called Fun Gone Wrong, and they broke up a long time ago. They actually got a record deal, and a bunch of shit went down, and they got screwed, and it was craziness. And then the band ended up breaking up. But two of these guys in this band are two of the guys from my band, LUNATIC, and they did a one-off show last weekend, so I drove all the way 3 hours to Centralia just to see these guys.
No, Jesus.
And of course, my buddy Jim was there, who was our other guitar player, and him and I were hanging out all night and just having a good time. And he started talking to me about the show, and then all of a sudden he just pops off with, "Hey, when are you going to get DA back on? I really enjoy his episodes." And I'm like, know, that's funny, because we've been talking about him here lately.
None of it good, I'm sure.
No, Jim's a cool guy, and so Jimmy, this is for you, buddy.
Just
Hey,
for
Jim.
you. So you'll drive 3 hours to go see these guys, and you won't drive fucking 5 minutes coming to my house.
Fuck no. Them guys don't have a bunch of kids running around.
Hey, man. All right. They probably do. They just don't know.
Actually, being at this concert the other night, it was like hanging out with a bunch of kids.
Yeah.
I was one of the oldest fuckers there.
Go figure.
Well, let's face it, we're not spring chickens anymore.
Well, I tell you what, I was at work today, and I pull up to this guy's house, and he was cutting his grass, and was riding lawnmower. He pulls up to me, starts talking to me, and he's like, yeah, we're talking about it, the heat and the weather and all that stuff. He's like, yeah, it's hard on an old man. I'm like, oh, man. He didn't look a day older than you. And he goes, yeah, I'm 72.
God damn.
I'm like, that's what I said. I was like, what?
Fuck.
JT, you're 72? Holy crap.
No, I just feel it.
Yeah, I'm
It ain't the years, it's the mileage, my brother.
Yeah.
Well, I was like, holy shit, dude, you're 72.
And I got a lot of mileage with my right hand going on here.
Yeah.
Explains the difference in sizes of the biceps.
Yeah.
Coach in first class. Winky. Man,
We're driving up to Jeff City today, and I'm a fucking dork, everybody knows that.
Yep.
So we're driving up the city, and all of a sudden I see the little bitty sign on the side of the road talking about a gun show, blah, blah, blah. So what do? Hey, honey, you need 2 tickets? And she's like, 2 tickets? What the fuck are you talking about? And I pointed at the sign, and she looked at it, and she just rolled her eyes and looked at me, and she's like, don't. I said, 2 tickets to the gun show.
We were
brother
rolling
was in the back seat. He just giggled.
We went up to see my son in St. Louis a couple weeks back, and we're driving through downtown St. Louis with Weird Al Yankovic blasting on the stereo.
Nice. Eat it.
White and nerdy.
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, speaking of white and nerdy,
here we are.
That's right, guys.
Here we are.
Oh, this is going to be a cool
the nerdiest fuckers you'll ever meet.
That I've been
quite possibly.
Yes, and we're proud of it.
Yeah.
But I've been waiting on this episode for a while. This topic really interests me because it delves into, like I said, with me, I'm a dimensional guy, and this topic kind of delves into that to the point to where, I mean, it lines up, and that topic is the Akashic Records. So that's what we'll be talking about tonight. We may get into a couple other things because
I'm sure we're going to get into all kinds of
with talking
we've already gotten into a plethora of stuff.
Multiple tangents.
About Akashic Records, you get into a lot of things that are kind of, there's more to it that you can go down this rabbit hole off of it or this rabbit hole, but I just kind of want to get into it.
A lot of people probably don't even know what the Akashic Records are.
I was going to say.
Well, let's talk about that.
Well, and that's why I'm glad you're on here because, like I said, the last time you were on, I had mentioned it. Mm-hmm. And you're like, wow, what's that? And then I kind of told you a little bit about it. Like, I'm going to look into it. And then, like, literally 2-3 weeks later, you're like, dude, we got to do an episode on this. So I was like, he must have went down and started. So
yeah, I went down the rabbit hole.
So why don't you go ahead as a guest and let them know basically what the Akashic Records is.
Basically, the Akashic Records, if you've watched the movies, the TV series Supernatural, when they would go visit death, and there was this huge hall of records of the lives of literally everybody since the end of time, that's essentially the image you should have in your head of the Akashic Records. It's the belief that somewhere in the cosmos there is a record of every word, deed, thought, and action ever spoken or committed by any person throughout time. And that there are ways to meditatively enter the Akashic Records and ask for guidance and ask for information. And it's really kind of an amazing subject that you can also access, like, not only from your own past but past lives, and even access ways to heal, which is really what intrigued me, because you guys know I've got some history with my lower back. Mm-hmm. And I'm willing to try just about anything at this point. Well, thus far I've done some guided meditations with the Akashic Records, and they say it can take a long time to actually be able to reach it, but I've been trying, and I think I've gotten closer. So the more I practice, the more I'm able to relax and focus my thoughts, I think the better chance I've got of actually accessing it. But it's a fascinating subject.
Yeah, hell yeah. And I just want to add to that just a little bit. Like DA said, it's all about this hall of records that talk, it's got everything that's ever happened to every human forever.
When you said Hall of Records, why did I hear Frank Caliendo doing the Super Friends? Meanwhile, back at the Hall of Records.
Hall of Justice. Anyway.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
You said Hall of Records.
Wonder Twins, unite.
Aquaman makes a peanut butter and jelly sandwich because he can't do crap.
He's going to eat sardines on his peanut butter. But anyway, so not only does it delve into the past, but it also the present and the future. Mm-hmm. This hall of records is everything that has ever happened or ever will happen.
Mm-hmm.
And there are guardians and guidance with the Akashic Records, and some versions of it say they could possibly be angels. According to Eastern mysticism, they're basically the more powerful yogis who have ascended. But it's a metaphysical plane that they say anyone can access given the right circumstances.
And see, and this is so along with that too, they say that some people say there's guides, others try to do it on their own without a guide. That leads kind of into like we talked about with DMT. So when people take DMT or ayahuasca, they go to this different level, this level of existence, different plane, which is the different dimension, which is basically what the Akashic Records are,
Which is very similar to what the Native Americans did with peyote.
100%. And this is why I really got into this when I first heard about it.
Yeah, he was all into the drugs.
Yeah, even though I've never done them. But that's crazy, isn't it?
It kind of is. Kind of is.
Well, with the Akashic Records, I first heard about it on a podcast called Tinfoil Hat, which I love. It's a great podcast, Sam Tripoli. And they had a lady on there, and she has a Facebook forum that I joined. It's like a group, and it's called Soul Space. And, a lot of people in there talking about, Akashic Records and things like that. And basically, with the Akashic Records, it's like it's a mental thing. It's a way for you to get better control of your life, figure out where you should be in your life,
questions that you can't figure out on your own.
And like you're talking about with supernatural, a lot of times they talk to the Crossroads demon, and there's basically like a gatekeeper to this other place, and stuff like that. So with the Akashic Records, when you go over, I think like along with and leading in it with DMT, a lot of people see the same thing and they call them the clockwork elves, or they see this creature, this being that's there. Everyone sees the same being up here, and that's basically the guide, and everyone sees that. And to me, I know one day I'm going to have to do DMT to get to that level to see what it is. See, I've never done any drugs like that. Nothing. I hardly ever take Tylenol. I've never been on any pain meds, nothing. I've done a lot of stuff to my body. But so they say that whenever you sleep, that you're possibly entering that realm, that there's like a outer realm that's like a doorway to all the different dimensions. And I was listening to a lady earlier talking about this. I watched a video on the Akashic Records, and she was talking about how to get there. There was a little prayer, a little saying you say, and then you can say it twice to yourself in your head, and then say, okay, the door's open. And then she said to picture yourself like in an elevator, and there's all while you're meditating, and then picture yourself pushing the button to the 5th floor, because that's the 5th dimension. And, they say the Akashic Records is the 8th dimension. So you're trying to work your way up through these dimensions. And, it goes through all your lives and things. But one thing that I thought was really cool about it is they said that, or kind of crazy, is that you can't look into other people's lives. Because if you look into other people's lives, it throws off where your life, it throws off what was going to happen in yours. Because now you're seeing... Basically, it's like seeing the future of someone else or into something else, which is really cool. And there's a lot of different, like you kind of mentioned, there's a lot of different civilizations and people that saw the Akashic Records as different things, but it was all the same thing. It was just kind of a different way to get there. Or,
Yeah, it's funny you should mention dreams, because one of the ways that I'd read that a possible way to access the Akashic Records is if you're capable of experiencing lucid dreaming.
Yeah. And what's cool about that,
which is not easy to do.
Exactly.
No.
It's very hard, because usually once you realize you're lucid dreaming, you wake up.
You wake up, right?
There's a way to do it. I can't remember how they said to stay in the dream, but once you can do that, they say it's very easy. And I think that's because that door is open. That's what's so cool, and that's what's so awesome and interesting about this conversation we're having, is because it can go so many different ways. Because talking about the Akashic Records, and then that talking about dreams, which we are talking about now, your mind, they never map the brain completely. So it's like, what is it, the pineal gland, all that. It's like it's like we're made to be able to reach these levels.
Right.
And
the pineal gland that Ryan is talking about, a lot of people call that the third eye.
Yes. And actually it is a third. It is and
it allows you to see into yourself.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Right.
I wonder if use of sensory deprivation would assist with that, because there's a place here in town that it's actually fairly reasonable for like an hour-long session. It's like $40, and I've been thinking about doing it. I've wanted to do pure sensory deprivation for a long time.
I 100% would love to do that. I know I've listened to Joe Rogan talk about on his podcast about the sensory stuff, and he said it's.
I don't know. I think it would drive me crazy.
One of the most difficult things that I find when doing doing meditations, even guided meditations, is something I thought that sensory deprivation might help with. Is, me being a writer, I have all these conversations in my head constantly, and I have what I refer to as an unquiet mind. Even when it's dead quiet, I can't shut my mind off, and it used to cause me all manner of insomnia. And I would have difficulty going to sleep or even staying asleep because my brain never really shuts down.
That's
and
exactly
it drives me nuts sometimes.
That is exactly the same thing I have. Like forever, I could not sleep.
Not me. When I go to sleep, I'm dead to the fucking world.
My brain just keeps fucking going, man. I'm up like.
It's weird because I'd never really thought of it in terms of calling it an unquiet mind, but I heard the reference on an episode of Longmire. They were talking about it, how Walt has a mind that he just can't quiet down, and they referred to it as an unquiet mind, and it clicked. It made perfect sense because I've struggled with that since I was a kid. Like, you'd lay down to go to sleep and just conversations are played back, and running over scenarios. What did I do at school today? What did I do at work today?
Right.
You just can't ever really shut it completely down.
That's how go ahead. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt.
As I've gotten older, it's gotten a little easier, but it never really shuts down completely. So that's why I thought sensory deprivation might help.
Yeah, and that's how my 5-year-old is too. Like, he never wants to go to sleep. That kid can go to sleep at midnight, 1 o'clock. He still get up at 6 every day. And he's just like, I don't want to sleep. I'm not tired. I hate going to sleep. Blah, blah. And he's a whole nother freaking can of worms, that kid. But getting back into this Akashic Records thing, I just think that the fact that we know that there's certain things you can take that a lot of people, almost everyone who takes it, sees the same thing.
Right.
Your body naturally produces it in small amounts. And so many people experience it, but then they're like, oh, well, there's no physical evidence of it actually happening, so it's not real.
Right. Well, and, you're talking about DMT, right?
That, and,
that's not something you could just pop down to Walgreens to pick up.
No. Well, DMT is one of those things, and we've talked about that before, and I was watching some videos on this, and they were talking, they got into the whole DMT thing, and they said, what's interesting about DMT is every human on the planet experiences that twice in their lifetime. A pure DMT rush. Once is when they're first born, and the second time is when they die. Your body is flooded with this DMT, and that's why a lot of people that have had like near-death experiences or afterlife experiences, however you want to put that, their body gets flooded with this DMT, and what it does is it causes their entire life to flash before their eyes. So there's a big theory out there that this DMT and the Akashic Records run hand in hand.
Yes, it's a portal.
That makes sense.
It's a key.
Yeah.
To the doorway.
Yeah.
To get into the Akashic Records, and like I don't know if you've looked much into DMT. But like, you can do DMT in the United States, or like you can smoke it, and it only lasts like 15 minutes. Very hardcore trip for 15 minutes. It's you gotta be with someone you trust that's not going to mess with you while you're doing that.
I'm fucking doing that with you.
Wake
yourself in a brew.
Wake up with a sore ass. But
I wake up with my pants unzipped.
But no, and then you can do ayahuasca, which that's a whole ritual. You get a shaman, and you do the whole thing. A lot of vomiting. It's pretty crazy.
I tell you what, I would love to experience. You guys talk about doing the sensory deprivation and stuff. I would just like to experience the Native Americans and their fucking
peyote.
Well, their
the full ritual sweat,
the full ritual in the hut, you know, where they dude,
the Lakota call it the inipi.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
I think that would be awesome.
Well,
I would love to do that.
Well, just like in Young Guns, we're in the spirit world.
Yeah,
you know,
see the size of that cock-a-doodle, goddamn dude.
see the size of that chicken.
I love that movie.
I love
hell
it.
yeah.
But, you know, that right, that like you said, all cultures have a way to get there.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna be honest with you, like I've been trying lately just to calm myself down, and I've got to the point. So I was listening to this lady talk about it, and she was saying, now picture yourself in front of an elevator. You see your hand, almost like a video game. You don't see your body. You see your hand.
Like a first person shooter.
Yes, you know, and you push a button, it opens up the door to this, you know, and then you push which floor you're going to get on. When that floor opens up to the different levels of the Akashic, you know, there's different levels to everything,
right?
These dimensions and things. And I'm getting closer, kind of like Dia was talking about. I'm getting closer to being able to calm myself down enough, focus enough, and think about it and completely zen out clearly and get to where I need to go. And I'm getting there closer and closer. It takes a long time. Like I said, I've been on these Facebook pages and groups, and I've been listening and talking to people we know that, you know, do this stuff.
Yeah.
And it's pretty cool, man. I mean, it's
I had to send you that video. I watched a video of a guy. He was actually talking about, you know, the pineal gland and how, like, it's there when you're young. It's fresh and it's active. But as you get older, it calcifies and becomes unusable. Well, what this guy was getting at was he was like, there are ways you can uncalcify that.
100%.
And he was talking about a way that, you know, he was going through the steps on how to do that. And
well,
I was like, man, I need to try that. I can tell you,
just the last 3-4 months that I've been really like taking care of my body, working out regularly, taking vitamins and supplements and things that like your body needs, drinking lots of water. It really clears your fucking mind. It's crazy how much just doing that clears your mind.
Oh yeah.
And cutting out certain chemicals like high fructose corn syrup.
Oh my God, dude. I drank. Okay. So I stopped drinking soda and I haven't drank it in a few months, 3-4 months, you know, and I had one the other day. Dude, like,
and they're gross.
Oh, I'm like, oh God, it made my head hurt.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I can't, dude. It just, you know, your body is like, hey, don't do that. You're good.
Yeah. You don't need that shit.
I found a place here in town that actually has Missouri raised honey, and I've been using that a lot.
Yes.
So you can get it with a jar with a honeycomb still in it.
I mean,
been sweetening that stuff with that.
And I know that, you know, it's a conspiracy stuff, but like they say, fluoride calcifies it a lot. You know, so I'm glad I have well water. That's something else too. You know,
I wish we still had well water, but I bought a Brita filter for our water. The water just tastes so much better now.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes, yeah. Well water.
We even give filtered water to the dog.
Yeah. yeah, man.
And he appreciates it.
The way we tell everybody our dog is bougie. He only drinks filtered water now.
I'll tell you what, man.
My dog only drinks filtered Budweiser.
So I'm drinking this water here, and most people know what this water is. I'm not going to show it because they're not sponsored, but you know. Anyway,
it's named after an island.
Yes, it's actually really, really good. People are like it's water. I'm like, you can taste the difference in water. I'm like, no, you can't. Like, if you can't taste the difference in water, then you're
not drinking good water.
You're not paying attention. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But that being said, I think that back then with Native Americans and, you know, all these other cultures, they didn't have all the things that we put in our bodies now that shut down that connection.
A lot of that stuff.
You know, the connection with the earth, you know, walking around barefooted, like just you're all connected. And I think a lot of the interference that is going on is the same way you mentioned honey, the same way with the bees. All the internet and everything like this, what we're doing right now, which is great because we get
bees. Oh, the internet's a buzz.
Well, what I was going to say is all this electronic is messing with their messing with their signals.
Yeah,
and that's what's messing them up. That's what's killing them.
Oh, 5G fucked up my drone.
But see,
I'm serious.
I understand, and that's what I'm saying. Like for a long time, a lot of people were talking about how 5G causes cancer and this and that because of how much the waves are. It makes sense. I hate it when people, because I'm a huge conspiracy guy, so to speak. People say I like looking into things. I'm a common sense person, and I hate it when people are like, "Oh, that's just a conspiracy theory. Oh, that's just for movies." It's like, no, man, just sit back and look. I can tell you when something is and where something isn't. Like some conspiracies, I'm like, okay, whatever. Like, I don't care. But some things just are what makes sense. You know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't make sense that type of wave, that much electricity wouldn't affect things. And you can tell it anyway when you walk under something. You get that vibe in your head. If you walk under a big, tower or something like that, your body is all vibrations. Everything is a vibration. Akashic Records.
Right.
It's a huge vibration.
What the hell?
Why is there a time limit? There's a time limit on 2 people now?
I don't know.
Crap.
We're getting a warning, guys. They're saying, hey, you guys got to upgrade.
When did they do that?
I have no idea what's going on here.
Well, we'll just turn that off. Hey, when it stops, we'll start another one.
You guys need to switch to StreamYard with me.
Well, it's funny. I was going to ask you about that. But we'll get into that. We'll get into that later.
Okay.
But, I think that that's what is affecting a lot of people to not be able to get to that level, to be able to get to the Akashic.
A new level
is all the electricity and everything that's going around, So I find out that the best way to do that for me is to drive down to the river and just listen to
living in a van
down by the river.
Chris Farley.
God dang it. Rest in peace. God, the world needs more Chris
hilarious,
Farley,
dude.
man. I love that motherfucker. My favorite comedians. But anyways, I think that 100% is what stops people or makes it that much harder for people to get to, which is why I think the deprivation chamber is going to be a great idea.
Yeah, I've been wanting to do that for a while. And
because it cuts
I think
everything.
I'm going to probably try that in the next month or 2. I'm just going to make an appointment and go do it.
It cuts the noise out, all that. Cuts everything out. I think it's a great idea.
They're at I think it's the university, I want to say it was Michigan, where they have the quietest room in the world. They say
yes.
The longest anybody supposedly lasted is 45 minutes that you can hear your own heartbeat.
Yeah.
Challenge accepted. I would love to go up there and try to beat that 45 minutes, because I think that would maybe be a place you could actually center.
Yeah, with the Akashic Records, or Akashic, it's actually Akasha because it's named after Akasha.
Mm-hmm.
So, which JT's got some stuff pulled up here. I don't know if you're wanting to read some stuff, bud, or
no. I just pulled it up so we'd have it.
Because I was watching, like I said, I just got done literally watching a bunch of videos on different people talking about it. Some people talking about ways to reach it. Like I said, they said there's like a little. There was an Irish lady I was just watching, and she has a video out, and she tells you what the prayer is, and then you say it once out loud.
Send me the link to that.
Yeah, I'll find a link and I'll send it to you. You say that out loud once, and then you repeat it to yourself twice in your head, and then you just go, okay, doors are open now. So it's kind of like, boom, it's a way to zen you out, get you where you need to go to do it. And, I find myself, it's crazy. You're talking about getting older and being able to do things. I find myself as I get a little bit older. I mean, I'm only 36, but I find myself like the people I thought were weird back,
he now hangs out with and does a podcast with.
Yes. No, see, so I had a friend of mine who turned me on to conspiracies when I was like 2000, when I was like 15 years old, way back in the day when I was 15. He was an older cat, we called him Hippie Larry. And I loved the dude to death, man. He died about 5 years ago.
Rest in peace, Hippie Larry.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man. I miss that fucking dude a lot. But, he was a strange cat. But now the more research I've done on things, it's like, wow, he was actually right about a lot of shit,
Yeah.
And I think that's what's so cool about doing what we do and talk to all these different people that I probably would never have talked to before. And then like you get to meet all these people and you get to understand that with things like ayahuasca, DMT trips, or like just talking about the Akashic Records, we are all connected.
Right.
And
exactly.
if we could all find a way, There's something about
Well, with the records, it's funny because everything's connected. It's not just us.
But that's what I'm saying.
I do kind of want to read something
Get
here.
into it. Get into
So we kind of gave you this breakdown, but I'm just going to read through this little paragraph here. In the religion of theosophy and philosophical school called anthroposophy, the Akashic Records are a compendium of all universal events, thoughts, words, emotions, and intent ever to have occurred in the past, present, or future, in terms of all entities and life forms, not just humans.
Mm-hmm.
So what they're getting at is every animal, every insect, every plant, everything, the water, all the elementals,
connected.
Everything's connected through the Akashic Records.
They say each person has their own vibrational frequency of energy. And I think that when, like for example, when I met you guys, I mean, we just hit it off. Yeah. And I think when you've got people that are on similar wavelengths, those are the people that you instantly like. You talk to somebody for 10 minutes, you feel like you've known them your whole life.
Yeah,
right.
Because
that kind of happened with us. I mean, we were talking, and within 15 minutes, we were talking like we'd known each other since kindergarten.
Yeah. Exactly.
And that, like you said, that's your people. Right?
And that's how, if you looked at this in another way, people talk about finding their soulmate. I found mine, Ryan found his, you found yours. Mm-hmm. It's all part of the Akashic Record.
It's finding someone that will put up with your bullshit for 30 years.
Well, see, that's the thing. Like, so me and my wife have been together since we were 14. So I'm only 36, but we've been together 20 years. And that's over half my life, and the connection.
I met my wife when I was 21, and I'll be 52 on Wednesday.
See? And the connection there is like, it's beyond, I don't know, it's just weird. There's the connection there.
Yeah.
Now, when you have children, I know you don't have children, but like when you have children, it's crazy the connection you have to that child.
Yeah.
Like, like you love your dogs. You love your animals. Like you guys love your animals, which is awesome. If you had a kid,
and you can love them too for the right amount of money.
Yeah. If you had a kid,
so wrong.
But if you had a child,
I got plenty of peanut butter in there.
But if you had a child and you guys were starving, you'd kill that dog in a heartbeat to feed your kid. As much as you love.
No, my wife would kill me to feed the kid.
I'm telling you, you guys would kill that dog in a heartbeat to feed your children.
Right.
And that's the difference. There's a connection there.
That's the kind of parent you should be. Not
Correct.
Everybody is.
No.
But then again, that leads into what I believe, which is in these different dimensions, upper and lower dimensions, and that how you are in this lifetime will affect how you are or where you go in the next plane. Mm-hmm. So, and part of the Akashic Records is it's like you're repeating your life over, trying to get every single thing right that you're supposed to get right, and then you can ascend to whatever you're going to ascend.
Right.
So,
the one thing that I didn't get into, and we really don't have time to get into it, but where reincarnation falls in.
Let's restart. What do you want to do?
So I think what we're going to do, guys, is we're going to pause here for a minute. And we'll be right back.
And we're back.
We're back by popular demand. All right. So see, that wasn't
or by unpopular demand.
That wasn't so bad.
Yeah. So there you go.
So, and this other one will do its thing, and there we go. All right.
All right, we're back again.
And here we are.
So now we do have time.
Yeah, that's really crazy because Zoom has always been unlimited for 2 people, and now all of a sudden they've cut you to a 40-minute timeline.
Welcome.
Wow.
Welcome to the Matrix.
So we may be making a change on that here. I don't know. I could pay for it. It's not that expensive.
We'll talk about it.
But we'll get into that. But anyway, so here we are. So the question I posed is where does reincarnation fit in the Akashic Records?
Well, according to the Akashic Records, you're supposed to be able to access past lives.
So, well, and that's kind of where I was going with that is if you can access a past life, then it's got to know in the future it's written that you're going to die and be reincarnated.
So, I'm glad you asked that. So, that's the whole point of getting to the Akashic Records. So, if you get to the Akashic Records, you can find out where you fucked up in the past and if you fixed that, and where you mess up in the future and you can fix it ahead of time. That way you can get to that next level of dissension. So that's the whole point of the Akashic Records, to be able to look into so you can figure out, it's like a cheat sheet, how to get to the next level.
Do they give you time, though? Do they give you time to go back and look at your life and say, you know what, I really fucked up here. I need to fix that.
I think that, well, that's the whole point.
We don't know.
That's what I'm saying. So you won't know, but you will fix it. So like if you looked up something in the past and you say, oh, fuck, I got that answer wrong, you'll probably be reborn again, and that aspect you'll fix in that next life
without even
knowing it.
Yeah, without knowing it, you'll fix it.
And so that's what's so cool about it. It gets into this whole freaking like, it's like a cheat sheet, like I said, to look into all that things, man. I just think
it's a way to solve mysteries in your life. It's a way to go back and examine things you've done in the past. It's almost like, you guys familiar with the concept of a memory palace?
I've heard that a million times.
I have not.
I can't remember.
A memory palace is a construct you create in your mind for storing memories.
Yes. Yeah.
And it was originally pioneered by a guy named Matteo Ricci back in the Middle Ages. The memory palace construction, you create a palace or a house in your mind, and each item you put into that palace you associate to a memory. So you could walk in the front door and pick up a vase, and the vase is the memory of, say, your first child being born. And you imbue each item you stock in your house with a memory. So it's kind of like building your own version of the Akashic Records.
Which goes into also paranormal events, how things hold memory. They hold energy.
Yeah.
You know?
Huh.
So it's like if I stab you with this knife, and then someone finds this knife later, and they pick it up, and it's going to have that negative energy.
The memory.
That negative memories on there. That's like, when you pick up a photo, it's kind of like I could pick up a photo of you when you were a baby and your mom holding you, and I can just get a smile on my face because that's a happy memory. That photo is holding that energy.
Right.
I just had the weirdest fucking thought, dude.
Well, speak it.
Wow. Deja vu. What if we've all experienced deja vu?
100%.
Oh, yeah.
What if deja vu is where we have accidentally tapped into the Akashic Records and seen a future event?
That's what it is. That's what they talk about in the lady that was on Tinfoil Hat. I wish I could remember her name. I'm sorry, I can't remember her name. She talked about that.
Really?
When you have deja vu, that's that boom interconnection. It's kind of like me, like if you're walk through yourself in the future.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You feel that, like, what is going on? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's cool. You said that's really that.
Wow.
It is really cool.
See, and that's what I'm talking about, man. Everything is.
See, this is the shit that my brain thinks up when I'm home alone and the lights are out.
I'm glad that's what your brain thinks. Because my brain thinks up with that freaking Godzilla movie thing I sent to you guys the other day.
Dude, I got to tell you, fucking 15 years ago, the fucking power went out here. And my wife's like, well, we got nothing to do. You want to go to bed? And go to bed? And I was like, hell yeah. So now about every, 3 or 4 times a week, I just go out and pull the main breaker on the house.
Oops, power's out.
Damn it, honey, the power's out.
What else are we going to do? That's hilarious.
Oh.
But, and we talked about that a little bit last time when we talked about the Akashic Records on how you run into your people, you meet your people. and like you get that connection, and it's like you said, it's like you've known them your entire life, and that's your people. And then you can actually, when you get into the Akashic Records, if you actually get there, you can find out who your people are, and you can go find them.
Like, damn, I miss that dude. He'd have been cool to hang out with.
Yeah, well, and or you can go find them. Oh, well, this so and so person is alive, and so I'm gonna go try to find this person. It's crazy, and it's not. It's crazy, and it's not crazy, because I used to think this way. I'm like, man, it's so weird that I find this person and they're into the same thing I'm into, and we click like that.
Yeah,
but not really, because you're into
this whole fucking table
this whole
right
podcast. But it's not really crazy because that's what you're into.
Yeah.
Like you just talked about, that's your frequency. A lot of people are either too vain or too materialistic or too just not connected to think that, oh, these people are just fucking weirdos. Listen to them all talking about how everyone's
God
connected.
damn, dude. Can you wait till I fucking leave the room?
But then I'm like, they're just afraid to fucking open their mind up and like accept things, like
free your mind.
Don't get me wrong.
Everybody, no matter who they are, they put out an energy.
100%.
You can pick up on that. I mean, how many times you walk by somebody and go, "Yeah, but that guy's just an asshole." And
it happens to me all the time at work. But usually they say it.
But no, it's not weird, but it is weird. But like, a lot of people are just afraid to open their fucking mind up. They get stuck in these, and I think it's done on purpose. So like, it's like the whole metaverse thing that's coming out. More and more, I'm a firm believer that more and more, they're just trying to get you to, like that movie Ready Player One.
Yeah.
Awesome movie.
Great film.
That's what they're looking to do. They don't want you, just like The Matrix, another great film.
Yeah.
They want you, because that's that lifeblood. That's what feeds it. Like we talked about our last episode.
Right.
I don't know if you listened to our last episode, but we talked about how we were talking about adrenochrome on our last episode. I don't know if you know what that is, but we were talking about adrenochrome and how, like, the way they super hypercharge this children's blood to make it to where it keep them younger is they scare the shit out of them, so the body floods with adrenaline.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when they get that. It's just like that movie, like I said, Dr. Sleep.
Yeah.
But in this, our life force, our beings, our whatever it is, our soul feeds that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And it's pretty crazy.
That's it for the picture for this episode. I'm putting a picture of Yoda up there.
Well, what's crazy is, like, I remember I was watching a show. I can't remember the name of it, but it was talking about how Native Americans called the internet before it ever happened. They said there would be a giant spider web that covers the world, and everyone would be connected to that spider web, and it could talk to each other from one side of the world to the other with the spider web.
Wow.
Well, Nikola Tesla predicted cell phones.
Yeah.
And a lot of other things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and then what gets into me is, and Joe Rogan talked about this. I don't want to talk about him, but he has a lot of cool people on there who know a lot of shit. So that's why I say his name, but it's his show. But the people who are on there are the ones that, say all the cool shit and stuff. But like, there's a guy on there talking about how, like, maybe these people, like Atlantis. He said maybe it's silly for us to think that we are this is the highest level we've ever been as a society, as a civilization. But maybe
more and more they're discovering artifacts that show that there was advanced technology long before our recorded history.
Exactly. And so who knows what is going on? You know what I mean? Like, who knows? Maybe those people had reached the Akashic Records and figured out what happened and how we can fix it. Or how that's why something like from the 50s to now, our technology's jumped so far.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, in my lifetime, it's grown leaps and bounds.
Mm-hmm.
When I was a kid, we had a party line telephone that, you had to hope the neighbors weren't on to be able to make a phone call.
Yeah.
Like 12, 13 people on our stretch of road were all on that same party line. And then, flash forward the infancy of the internet. We're like, oh man, this is, when I first heard about it, I'm like, that's never going to catch on. And just technology has grown by leaps and bounds. And now, if you talk to somebody and they say they don't have the internet at home, they're like, what?
Yeah.
Holy crap. Are you living in the dark ages over there?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the thing, it's like and I think there's a battle between what we consider good and evil.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that our bodies are naturally meant to be able to connect with each other mentally.
Oh, they're meant to connect together. Yeah.
Yeah. But no, I think
we're sleeping pole to hole.
Nut to butt.
Assholes and elbows, baby. But no, I think that we are supposed to be able to communicate with each other a lot clearer. I think we are supposed to be able to pick up on things a lot clearer. And we talked about that, and this is a little bit more of a technical way of talking about what we've always talked about, which is that losing that imagination, losing that wonder.
Right.
That's the one thing about the internet I fucking hate, is that there's no wonder anymore.
I would disagree. I think there's still plenty of wonder in the world. It's just most people are too locked into a cell phone to see it. I mean, there are vast swaths of wilderness that have yet to be explored that we know less than 10% of what's at the bottom of our own ocean. We're at the cusp of being able to actually explore our own solar system and potentially beyond. So there's still tons of wonder out there, but most people are too busy doing this.
Yeah, let me rephrase that. What I meant to say is it's hard to allow your children to keep that wonder. I still have that wonder. JC still has that. You still have it.
Because I'm a kid at heart.
Exactly. A lot of people don't have that.
Right.
And so for my kids, like my kids constantly ask me questions, and I encourage them, ask me questions always. That way they get answers and they, figure things out. But, I have a friend and he tells his kids that, Santa's not real. This ain't real. That's fake. This is this. And I love the dude. But to a point, I'm like, man, you still got to let them be kids.
Yeah.
They got to have that wonder.
Exactly.
They got to have that wonder in life, because if they lose that spirit of imagination,
don't take that away from them. Let them think that Krampus still exists.
Well, my son had a monster. Monster's real. Oh my god! I'll get real close to them. And they'll be like,
well, you look at some of the sightings of cryptids. Maybe they are.
Dad, there's a monster under my bed. No, son, it's in the closet.
Can I sleep in your room? No, I don't want it to eat me too.
Yeah. But no, I think that they do. They lose that sense of, and that's what I was talking about with the internet. Used to, if something happened, you had to hear it by word of mouth, and that's what made it fucking interesting. Like, damn, I got to see it for myself. And now it's like you talk to somebody and like while you're talking to them, explaining something that's cool, they're all on their phone. That's not real. I just Googled it. Look, this right here says blah 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 blah. Yeah. It's just like. Yeah.
Contrary to popular belief, Google does not have all the answers.
She's pretty smart bitch.
They want you to hear.
Yeah, they have the exact. You just said. Yeah. They curate what they want you to hear.
Yeah.
Right.
I use DuckDuckGo.
Dark web.
Just saying. But no, I mean, I just I think that if a lot more people would keep that belief of being able to just believe in whatever, they could open their mind up enough to get to the Akashic Records, to maybe enlighten themselves and get themselves, because I really feel like there's ways for you to be able to see things from different dimensions. And the Akashic Records is just one part of these dimensions. It's the 8th dimension. There's multiple dimensions.
Right.
So I think that those upper and lower frequency beings affect, like you're talking about, like guardians of the Akashic Records. I think that they could be lower, upper or lower. It just depends on, what's around there. how you act in life, what you're bringing. You know what I mean?
Right.
You've met people who are just fucking negative and their life sucks and everything sucks. And it's just like, wow, blah. It's like, damn, dude. No, with that attitude, of course your life's going to say you hate everything. Why do you hate everything?
No kidding.
You know, it's like there's so much out there, like you were talking about. There's so much out there to enjoy. Why do you just want to just be so fucking negative?
Just be positive. Shit.
Well, it's like we talked about with atheists, or is it atheists, or is it they don't believe in anything, right? Like
Atheists, yeah.
you die and you're done.
Yep.
Why do you want to believe that? You know, it's like even if you're right,
It's easier to believe that than to believe that there's consequences for your actions.
Yeah. But even if you're right, it's like, damn, I could be so much happier.
Hey, I'm married. I know there's consequences for my actions.
Betcha.
Or non-consequences.
Now I know where the breaker's at.
Fletcher style, all you hear is oops.
Damn, honey, the power's out again. She's like, maybe we need to call the electric company.
Time to buy a backup generator.
No, don't call them. Don't call them yet.
Why is it we're the only house on the block that keeps going dark?
I don't know, but I'm going to give him a piece of my mind.
Right after I give you a piece of my
Mind.
My third eye.
Please, honey, don't shut the bed.
Or do. See what you do. Now you took this.
I know. I just took this all in a
we're doing
negative.
Derailed our train of thought. Ding, 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 ding.
You're doing great, and you just freaking.
It's what I do. That's what I do.
So, is there anything in particular that you were wanting to mention about the Akashic Records, DA?
You know, it's something that, and I haven't really, I kind of touched on this one night on my own show, and I would love to actually do another part of the Akashic Records on my show and have you guys come on there.
We would love to do that, man. We'd love to get on your show.
There's so much more to this, but one of my things is the reason I've worked to try to access my own Akashic Records is ever since I was a young kid. I mean, like really young, I remember having these vivid dreams. Just like I was there, but it was me, but it wasn't me. Like I've had one reoccurring dream over the years about fighting during the Civil War. I've had others that I couldn't place the time, but I knew it was another time. So I've had these weird dreams about possible past lives since I was a kid, and it's kind of what's fueled my writing over the years. It's kept me, in tune with that imaginative side of me, that open side of me, wondering what might have existed before, and it's helped fuel my writing in a lot of ways. But I really would like to know what those dreams mean.
Mm-hmm. See, and that's weird because either of you guys ever had a dream where you're one person in your dream, and then like you're still having the same dream, but then you're someone else?
Mm-hmm. No, I don't think I've ever done that.
I have.
I had that happens to me a lot where like I'm either me or I'm with, like say I'm with you.
Yeah.
And me and you are doing whatever, and then all of a sudden either I change into someone else or like you'll be DA next time I turn my head over. Like I'm talking to you right now, and then boom, I turn over and you're DA now. And like I'm like, what the fuck? I was just talking to Jay-Z and now he's DA. But like that happens a lot.
Goddamn DA, you don't want in this mind. I'm telling you right now.
I'm kind of worried about what kind of dreams of his I'm in.
Hey, did we have our clothes on?
Maybe.
What do you mean by clothes?
You're wearing a smile.
Had a halter top and a fucking.
When you said that, it reminded me. I'm assuming DA probably knows it. You probably do too, though. You know, Drinking Bros are a Black Rifle Coffee Company.
Yeah.
So they do these things. I showed you.
Yeah.
They do these things where it's like if veterans were in horror movies.
Oh, yeah. Those are so funny.
Oh yeah, one you reminded me of whenever they go in there and that. I think it's Giorgio or somebody. No, it's Jared. So this fucking ghost demon goes inside Jared's body, and then it's like, oh fuck, and it shoots out of his mouth. He's like, like that's 15 years of MREs.
Hell yeah.
Like the one where he shoots Jason in the crotch. He's like, you missed. You hit him in the crotch. He's like, I was aiming for his crotch. Oh, well, then it hits a hit.
No, this reminded me of that when you fucking said that.
I'm pretty sure I'm on my first life because I don't think I could fuck it up this much on my second life.
No, it takes practice to mess it up that bad.
No, I say that. I'm doing pretty damn good.
Yeah, you know what I think? It's weird. I think about that with my life, and me and my wife talk about stuff all the time. And we have family of ours that's got pretty good money, or they think they got money, and they live a certain way, maybe outside their means, and they got a lot of materialistic things. They think that they're doing okay, but they're miserable. Just like with this John.
Money does not buy happiness.
Well, that's what I was going to get into. Just like with this Johnny Depp and Amber Heard thing, like they got all the money in the world, but they're fucking miserable.
Yeah,
miserable people.
I'll tell you right now that my wife and I are not loaded by no means, but we're comfortable. We don't have to worry about anything. But if I lost my job tomorrow, we'd still be a happily married couple.
And that's what I was going to get at. It's like, for me, I think that maybe in my last life, maybe I had money, but maybe I was miserable. Because like in this life, me and my wife were talking about it. And I'm like, if you look at them, the people I was just talking about, I'm not going to mention them. Look at them. They're miserable in life. If you look at me and my wife, we still live in the same house I bought when I was 20. You know, small house. We had 2 vehicles that are bought and paid for.
Yeah, but it's a nice house, and you guys have rehabbed it. I mean, you're doing pretty damn good, dude.
Yes, and it's built with love.
Right.
And everybody in the house, we all love each other. We actually love each other, want to be there. Now, I know you guys go, what the fuck is this love? Well, what I'm getting at.
Love is all around
What I'm getting at is that maybe I figured out that in this life, what really matters.
Yeah.
You know? And when we talk
about horror movies and Pornhub.
Yeah. X videos. But no, anyways, what I was going to say is like DA earlier when he said, when I mentioned kids, and he said, well, that's how you should be as a parent. A lot of people aren't like that. I think those people are going to be living another lifetime. That's going to be, you know, look, you got to this is where you fucked up.
Well, the sad thing is it's like, they'll figure it out next time. Well, God damn it, they're here now.
Yeah, it's crazy. Well, and that's what it is. We just don't know what the hell is really going on. You know, I know a lot of people say, oh, we're living in a simulation. And I just can't believe that.
I think the food would be better.
Yeah. Well, not only that, but, and a guy said this.
Have you not seen my waistline, DA? The food's apparently pretty damn good here.
Well, it may be good to eat or maybe taste good, but it ain't good for you.
No.
But see, a guy said this on another podcast too. He said that someone said that he's like, the only people who say that are rich people that we live in a simulation. It's only super rich people who say we live in a simulation. You ask someone like me, or you, a working man, or, you know, if this is a fucking simulation,
I got fucked.
Yeah, someone whoever's playing my character like gamer is a fucking asshole. You know,
well, we could screw this guy up.
In fucking Tron when they had the users and shit. My user's an asshole.
Well, that movie game.
Yeah.
Really good movie. But no, you know, I think that we're going to find out a lot more. And this is where it gets really interesting. We were talking about AI and the human brain and the Akashic Records and DMT trips and all this shit that's all connected. It's going to get really interesting, like with this new Neuralink that fucking Elon Musk's talking about. Mm-hmm. When you put AI and the human brain together, what the fuck is going to happen?
Nobody really knows. They can take guesses.
You want to know my theory?
Until it actually happens.
You want to know my theory? I think Elon Musk already has it. I think Elon Musk
is it going to open us wide open to
check it out.
Everything.
What it is, Elon Musk explained this. He was on Rogan's show talking about it. And this is why I think he already has it. He said that with Neuralink, you either going to have it or you're never going to be able to keep up. Right?
Right.
With everyone else.
Right.
Look at Elon Musk. Look at everything he does, everything that he's been doing, all the stuff he's been producing and putting out there and things he's thought of. No one else is fucking doing it. No one.
Right.
And he's doing it well.
Yes.
Love or hate the guy. There's schools of thought on that. Whether you love or hate the guy, either one, you have to admit that dude has accomplished some wicked stuff.
Shit, 100%. And
absolutely.
And I think if you look at the way his mannerisms and the way he speaks and how he tries to speak to someone, and he talked about this on Rogan's podcast. And Rogan is a very smart motherfucker. Granted, he talks to a lot of people, but he actually is a student. He reads things. He listens to So, and even like Rogan's like, I feel like an imbecile, like a complete idiot when I talk to this guy.
Wow.
And he even and even Elon Musk on the show was talking about how it's hard for him to talk to someone, even someone like Neil deGrasse Tyson,
right,
or someone like that. It's hard for him to talk to them because his brain is constantly
firing on all cylinders, which his cars don't have.
Yeah, exactly. But they're 0 to 60 in 1.9 seconds. But no, I mean, honestly, that's my honest opinion. I think that he already has it.
Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me.
Well, if you develop something like that you knew was going to make everyone else better, who the fuck would you put it in first?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's like that movie Limitless.
Yes, exactly. And they say it's life imitating art. No, it's art imitates life most of the time. A lot of stuff you see in movies, and the whole reason why, and I'm not going to get too deep in it because this is not a conspiracy podcast, although I'm thinking about starting one of those. So, but anyways, they put things in movies so that, and they had this theory with aliens. They said that they made all these movies about aliens and things like that so that whenever you see them, you don't freak out. It's like, oh, yeah, that's a fucking alien.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, supposedly Close Encounters of the Third Kind was based on an actual event that happened in White Sands, New Mexico in the 50s.
Yeah. And I mean, I think they put a lot of things in your head so that you won't freak out when it happens.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, you guys know about the whole monkeypox thing going on.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that you need to take the K out. So then it's money pop. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what's crazy about that is I don't know if you guys remember the story.
Goddamn, the power just went out.
I'm not fucking doing it. But no, what's crazy about that is that I don't know if you guys remember the story, but I don't know, 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, when the truck full of monkeys from a lab tipped over and a lady went over to help and got bit by the monkey from the lab.
Yeah.
It's funny. That's how they told us AIDS started.
Do you remember that, though? That happened a year and a half ago.
Yeah, I remember that.
And now monkeypox coming out. But guess what? You know what happened in 2019? The United States government ordered 14 million smallpox vaccines to be developed. Do you know what the only treatment for monkeypox is?
Smallpox vaccine?
Smallpox vaccine. Smallpox hasn't been around for how long?
Yeah,
it was all but eradicated. Occasionally it'd pop up somewhere in some third world country somewhere, but there hadn't been a recorded case in the United States in decades.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
you know what's funny? Another thing that you guys may not remember that happened a couple years ago? Fucking coronavirus.
I completely missed that one.
We never fucking hear about that anymore.
Hey, you know something else? You want to know something else that happened about 3.5, 4 years ago? $1.70 for gas.
Yeah.
You're not wrong.
Yeah. I went to the gas station the other day to fill up the fucking Mustang, $4.98 a gallon.
Yeah.
I was like, motherfucker.
Dang, are you buying premium?
Yeah, I have to. I'm running a tune on it.
Well, even without that, it's stuck at $4.10 a gallon right now.
Yeah, I put gas in my wife's car this morning. It was $4.09.
But what I was saying is basically what I'm saying with that.
I'm glad I had to change vehicles now.
Yeah. Well, and that's I'm going to have to start driving this fucking tractor.
Well, back in November, a inebriated driver took the front end off my van. Oh. And so we ended up having to get a new vehicle. We got a 2020 Nissan Rogue, and that thing gets amazing mileage.
Yeah.
So it's not as big a bite in the butt now, but
right.
Back when we had that van, it would have been much worse.
I like a good bite in the butt.
My car's not too bad. You get it on the highway, I get about 27, 28.
Well, that new fucking...
The Rogue will get about 36.
Yeah.
That's the only good thing about that diesel motor is that it gets freaking 30 miles to the gallon.
30 gallons to the mile.
No, it gets 30 miles a gallon. It lasts a long time.
Yeah.
Fuel. But anyways, so yeah, guys, that's just some of the Akashic Record stuff we delve into, and some other things that we said we would do, like we always do. It's always a great conversation, though. That's what matters. But for some reason, Zoom's fucking with us, so instead of pausing,
we're gonna fix that shit. We're gonna switch providers.
We're gonna end this, and then we're gonna talk to DA off the camera, and you fuckers can't hear that.
Yeah,
and you may not want to.
Yeah. But DA, real quick, buddy, why don't you let everybody know all your stuff, where they can find you, and all that good jazz.
Cool. Yeah, you can find all of my books, which I do a lot of cryptid fiction. I do horror and some sci-fi. You can find all those at daroberts.net. You can check out my YouTube channel. I have a cryptid and horror show called DAX Machina, and you can find that at youtube.com/DARobertsAuthor. And you can find me on pretty much all of my social media, including Twitch, at DARobertsAuthor. So I kind of made everything easy.
Twitch.
Awesome.
Twitch.
Awesome, guys. Go check him out. I promise you will not be disappointed. Read his books, buy his books, show him some love. And more importantly, horror fam, as always, until next time,
Keep it creepy.